All right. Good evening, everybody. Let's wait for people to join in. I can already see 300 now, 372 people across all the Facebook pages listening to us, slowly climbing up. I can see some people already there on YouTube, and the initial comments have already started coming in. Some Facebook user says hi in our interface. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, whoever is listening to us right now, we have a phenomenal session planned for you today with a very good friend of mine, somebody who I really respect for his knowledge and experience regarding careers related to law and how law is emerging as an amazing career for the future for the high school students to consider. But before that, let me just welcome all my audience across all the 10 Facebook pages and one Facebook group. We are way above 800 now, and this is super good. This is going good. I hope you are safely tucked inside your homes and you are definitely taking all the precautions. Things are definitely not looking good outside. Please follow all the norms. Keep on wearing your face mask. Government says please wear it whenever it is possible for you. So you only take it off when you're going off to sleep. Follow social distancing. Keep sanitizing your hands. That's the only way you can save yourself and you can save the world from the pandemic. Okay, so what is this discussion all about today? Today we're going to talk about law as a career. We will also talk about what are the futuristic and innovative careers which can emerge from law, because most of us always think that law is only about judiciary or it is only about becoming a lawyer. So we will bust that myth. We will also talk to Yusuf. Yusuf is Vice President Emerging Markets of Law School Admissions Council and is joining on an early morning from USA. So we'll talk to Yusuf about how Law School Admissions Council is helping students to prepare for LSAT exam in India. Most of us know LSAT is the most sought after exam to apply to the law schools, some of the amazing law schools in India. So we definitely won't leave Yusuf easy without answering this question. How is LSAC allowing students to prepare well for LSAT India? What are the test dates? What is the fees for the test? Prominent institutes which accept LSAT India. How do you prepare for LSAT? Can he give us some cheat codes to do well? So we will definitely ask him about those cheat codes. Any tips or tricks which he has learned from the toppers of LSAT India? How is LSAT different from their competitor, CLAT? We really want to know that, right? We really want to know, why should my child take the LSAT and not take the CLAT? And who better than telling, to tell us than Yusuf? I will also not let go of Yusuf so easily. So I'm definitely going to ask him about, are there any scholarship that LSAC offers to the toppers of LSAT India? And they have started their own amazing LSAT law prep. So we really want to know, does it suffice? Do I need to take coaching? Can I just depend upon the LSAT law prep? So amazing session lined up, and without taking much time, let me now bring Yusuf Abdul-Kareem, Vice President Emerging Markets, Law School Admissions Council. All right, Yusuf, there you are on the screen. How are you doing?
I'm well. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
I can definitely hear you okay, and you're looking really nice on the screen, Yusuf. Thank you so much for joining in. What time is it there? What part of US are you in?
So I'm on the East Coast, and it's actually 12:30 in the afternoon here now. So I'm ready to go, geared up, and excited to be talking to you. I'm looking forward to this conversation, answering all of your questions that you have outlined, and even more if you have some. This is the time, so let's get into it. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to have this conversation, right? And so I want to welcome all of your listeners, all of the moms, all of the dads, and most importantly, all of the students. So let's get off to it.
All right. Thank you, Yusuf. Thank you so much. All right. My first question to you is, have you visited India before?
Of course. Yeah, I've been to India about 5 times now.
5 times now. What's your favorite place?
That's a loaded question. There's so many great places, it's hard to pick just one. But I would
Uh-huh.
say because I am drawn to the water, I would say that Mumbai is probably the place where I like the most thus far.
And have you had a typical Mumbai dish called vada pav? Have you ever tried it?
I think so. Is it something that you can get from one of the street vendors?
Yes, you do.
Yes, then yes, I've had it.
Oh my God, I am really amazed with that. Thank
Yeah,
you. All right,
yeah,
Yusuf, let's get into the show. My first
absolutely.
question to you is
Yep.
law as a career, Yusuf.
Mhm.
It's an amazing field for students to consider.
Yes.
It can be combined with various other genres of careers,
Yep.
but unfortunately, the belief is that if you study law, you can only become a lawyer or you
Yeah.
can only
Yeah.
get into judiciary.
Yep.
How true is that? What do you have to say about it?
Yeah, so first and foremost, I think law is probably one of the most invigorating, challenging, and dynamic professions that you can enter, right? So, and I think that when we, like you have rightly mentioned, that whenever people hear law, they always think of this sort of arcane concept of, wearing the wigs or studying under some lawyer for 15 years before you can actually take over and practice yourself. And I think those days have kind of gone, right? So we're now focused on what are those modern career opportunities that a student can prepare themselves for, and what are some of those things that you need to be learning now for law for the next generation of lawyers, right? So, I mean, I think today what we really like to focus on are what are the skills that you need to be successful, right? And so we know that those skills are analytical reasoning, critical thinking, logical reasoning, and reading and comprehension, right? And so you can take those skills into a myriad of different professions. That's why today you see lawyers that are, CEOs, lawyers that work for NGOs, lawyers that do cyber law, lawyers that do space law, sports law, right? So you have this enormous platform that you can essentially kind of use law to build on things that you're interested in. Even like law and technology, right, is like a huge, huge scope with the proliferation of technology, digital transformations, cryptocurrency, cyber law is becoming a prominent thing. You have IP lawyers that are, trying to preserve people's intellectual properties and patent law. So you have the scope, quite frankly, is as wide as a student can imagine, quite honestly. Like earlier this week, I think, no, last week, we did a session with a lawyer who focused on ethics, right? And she herself was a lawyer. Her practice area was ethics for other lawyers, right? And so that to me was something that, believe it or not, I had just kind of run across for the first time, right? So even within law, there's so much that you're able to kind of carve out for yourself based on the things that you're interested in. So I think that, if you're a student today, this is probably one of the best times, quite frankly, to go to law school.
So, if you're a student today, this is possibly the best time to go into law school. All right, super. And yes, while you're talking about such myriad areas where a student can take these skill sets, which
Yeah.
are developed through LSAT and are developed into a law school, they can take it to various careers. This is amazing. And how is LSAC Global?
Yep.
Helping students to prepare for LSAT India. So there is this little confusion in the minds of people when they hear about LSAC and then there
Yep.
is something called LSAT India. Can you
Yep.
just explain it in briefly? What
Of
what is
course.
what is it all about?
Of course, yeah, I'd be more than happy to. So, LSAC is a nonprofit organization based in the U.S., started in 1948, right, by a professor from Columbia University, essentially to inculcate diversity, equity into the legal profession here in the U.S. It used to be that if you weren't from a well-to-do family or you didn't have, people in your family that were lawyers, then law was actually something that was very foreign and unattainable, right? So, in order to be able to add a level playing ground to people that wanted to pursue law, we created the LSAT exam. And so we've been administering that exam since that time. We are now, globally recognized as the gold standard for law admissions. All of the great law schools in North America accept and use the score to make their admissions decisions. So whether it's Harvard, Yale, Columbia, NYU, University of Texas, Penn University, all of these great institutions in the US and Canada and China now, Australia, right? And I'm so fortunate and blessed to be able to say that we've also been doing this good work in India since 2009. So for India, because the LSAT in the US is traditionally for students that are going to postgraduate schools, right? We needed to create something for students that were entering essentially like the UG base, right? So undergraduate students. And so we took all of that expertise that we had developed over the 70 years of our history, and we have applied that to create a unique exam for India. Right. So a law student in India today is able to benefit from all of the skills, right, that have made us so successful and have made countless and millions, quite frankly, of lawyers successful here in North America. Right. And by focusing on those specific skills that they will need to be successful practicing lawyers eventually, but also successful in law school itself. Right. So then that brings me to what are we doing as LSAC Global to help students in India? Well, I mean, I'm delighted to say that we're doing a lot of really, really good stuff this year. So I'll start with first and foremost, we have student focused initiatives that we have created. So we have a Discover Law Student Ambassadors program that is, focused on high school students that aspire to go to law school, right? So with them, we have different sessions that we host, right? We also have mentorship opportunities that we make available to them as well. We have a number of different discounts that we give away to help ease sort of the barriers that might exist from a financial perspective for students that are interested in taking the exam but probably don't have the means to do so, right? We also have what we just recently introduced, LSAC Law Prep, which is a online learning platform to help students gain sort of a deeper understanding, right? Almost like a deep dive into what the exam will test so that they can show up on test day ready, prepared, and confident to put their best foot forward so that they can succeed. And then, I mean, we have a network, quite frankly, of really, really prestigious institutions that are there to hold their hand from walking them through the admissions process to gain entry into their phenomenal law school. So, I mean, we're here as a guide. We're here to help them create pathways. We're here to hold their hand in whatever they need us to be able to do. And then finally, I mean, I cannot not talk about the money. Right, we have great scholarships that we made available. So we have two different scholarships that we offer. One is called the LSAC Topper Scholarship that we get for merit, which is 4 lakhs. And then we have another one that is diversity focus in honor of Shamnad Bashir, who started IDIA, right, with the intention of adding diversity into the legal profession in India. And that one is also 4 lakhs too. So yeah, we have a wide range of things that we do to help students get from point A to point B.
Wonderful. I was amazed when you said that last week you met somebody who was teaching ethics or who's working in the field of ethics, a lawyer. And this is amazing because, very recently I was interacting with a university which I really like in Canada. It's called Huron. It's a very selective small institution, and they have this program called Governance, Leadership, and Ethics, right? And I was really amazed. Right, I was really amazed when I saw that program. That in today's time, ethics, governance, and leadership can be taught at universities at bachelor's level, right? So I completely resonate with you when you say that ethics is also one offshoot, or ethical practices in law can also be an offshoot of law as a career. So is cyber law, and so
Yeah,
is intellectual property rights, and so on and so forth. And it really amazes me when institutions like LSAC or Huron or other institutions are really putting in that focus of bringing in people to talk about ethics. And this
of
is so
course.
important for today's generation to learn, ethics and
Absolutely.
values. All right. Yusuf, coming to it, what are the test dates for LSAT in India? Will you be able to share the test dates for
Yes,
us?
of course, of course. So, I mean, given everything that's happening in the country, we decided to prepone the exam. So originally we were scheduled for June 14th, right? But we're
Okay.
now going to move the test date to May 29th, right? And so we're going to start testing on the 29th of May, and then we're going to go over a series of days, right? So we're very fortunate in the sense that we have successfully administered now on numerous occasions our remote proctored AI enabled home delivery exam, right? So for a student that is aspiring to go to law school now, you can take the exam right in the comfort of your home very safely with all of sort of the technical underpinnings testing class testing experience.
So, what you're trying to say is that while I was making notes when you were talking,
Yeah,
um, the student can now take the LSAT India test at the comfort of his home. Is that correct?
absolutely, absolutely.
And will it
Yeah.
be will it be a proctored test, or will it be a non-proctored test?
Yeah, so it is a AI enabled proctored exam, right? So the
Okay.
way that our exam works is that students can schedule their own test appointments, right? So we're going to send you an email and it will, based on your schedule, your availability, and when you feel most comfortable, you can now schedule your test appointment, right? And so when you do that, on test day, you come in and we have a proctor who will check you in, right? And then after you get checked in and you're all set up and ready to go for your test, we have this AI enabled software that will essentially proctor the exam for us while you take it online. So it's almost like you don't really even recognize that they're there, but they're quietly there, just kind of monitoring and making sure that we are able to preserve the integrity of the test. Because as you can imagine, with high stakes exams, there is some propensity for people to do things that we suggest that they don't do, right?
Wonderful. So I also want to understand, Yusuf, there is this big debate in India always,
Yes.
which test to take, LSAT
Uh-huh.
or CLAT, all right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
this is such a huge debate you can't even
Yeah.
imagine. It is not
Yeah.
from today, it's from our days, right?
Yes.
So help me understand, why should I take LSAT? How is it different from the
Yeah.
CLAT?
Yeah. So first and foremost, let me just say that I strongly think that students today should take both exams, right? And the reason that I say that is because you know students and parents want to have options, right? Like you want to put yourself in the best position to be successful, right? So we believe that we are always student centric and customer focused, right? So for us, whether you take our exam this year or you don't take it, right? Like at the end of the day, as long as you're able to gain admissions into a law school of your choice, then that's great, right? But we do think that there's a tremendous amount of value that you get from taking our exam. And the reason is, a couple of different reasons, and I'll tell you why, right? So first and foremost, we are the number one national or globally recognized gold standard for law school admissions, right? For over 70 years. And that doesn't happen by mistake. That doesn't happen without us sort of consistently delivering, retooling, and focusing and improving on our product, right, which is the LSAT India exam. And so, based on our legacy and experience in testing, right, we have come to realize that schools value more than anything a specific set of skills, right? Those skills are, especially when it comes to law schools, they want students that know how to think critically, that know how to read comprehensively, right? Like, and this is complex material because if you think about it, at a fundamental level, lawyers are going to have to be able to read and write, right? And then
True.
the other thing that they have to be able to do is think critically, right? And so those are the skill sets that the LSAT India focuses on. And even across other law school entrance exams now, if you actually sort of take a deep dive a little bit closer under the water, you can see that a lot of these exams also are now changing their formats to focus on some of the same skill set that we have been focusing on for over 70 years now. So, what are some of the key differences, right? So, for LSAT India, we focus on the skills. We're not an aptitude based test, we are a skills based test. And so, how is that different? Right. So for some of the other exams, you might have to, learn some GK, right? You might have to do some math. You might have to also have what's called legal reasoning, right? And so, quite frankly, we believe that you're going to law school to learn law, right? Not so we assume that you don't have like any prior knowledge, right? But you do have prior skill set, right? And that's how we're fundamentally different, right? So there's no negative marking on our exams. You can take the exam and do what we call strategically guessing, right? So through a process of elimination, you're able to kind of, assess which answer makes the most sense based on, your read of the passage, your read of the argument, and the questions that are being posed to you, right? And we don't penalize you for taking those sort of strategic guesses, unlike some of the other exams. I think the other thing that is different that and this is across all of the different exams. Every year, our exam has been consistently, right, consistent. There is no one year where things have been, drastically more difficult than one year, or we have some kind of issues in the news where people are challenging our exams, right? So for us, we have a gold standard and we stick to that gold standard every single time that we administer the exam. No questions asked.
So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Yusuf ended up giving us so much of information that entire page on my mobile is completely full right now with all the information. But some very critical information that came across to me, which I want to share with you as a career counselor, is that LSAT India is definitely a much better choice for everybody than any other exam whatsoever, without naming them. There are inherent reasons, because LSAT is definitely like a gold standard of sorts, not only in India but worldwide. But definitely LSAT India is a gold standard in India, which is accepted in some of the prominent law schools you and me dream about getting into. Not only he shared that how the analytical, the reading, the logical skills are tested on LSAT and that can prepare you for life. Inherently, this is one test which can allow you access and entry into the best of the institutions. So why would you not want to take this test over the other tests? And the beauty is that they are sensitive to the pandemic. And now you can actually take the test inside the comfort of your home without worrying that the test will cancel, or
Mm-hmm.
it will be late, or it will get postponed. And
Mm-hmm.
Yusuf was kind enough also to share with us the dates of the test. But I do welcome you all to go ahead and search about LSAT India. Go to their website. There's a beautiful website that they have called Discover Law. Check that out. And I'm sure you will be able to get all the information that you require about the LSAT India. Yusuf, for almost 800 plus audience which is listening to you right now across various
Yeah.
pages,
Yeah.
this is an important question.
Okay. Let's
Please
do it.
tell us some of those prominent names
Mm-hmm.
which accept LSAT India here in India.
Oh, well, I mean, I think that so this is I have to start with Gender Global Law School, right? Recognized as an institution of eminence in India, but also globally ranked as the 76th, I think, best law school in the world, right? So I think that, and that sort of includes all of the different law schools, North America, Europe, Asia, right? So I think that to me is a real testament to the quality that they place and the faith that they place in the LSAT India exam. Some of the other prominent names that we have is Bennett University, IFIM, UPES, Alliance University. Who else do we have in there? I think those are some of the ones that come. Oh, VIT in Chennai comes to my mind. Uh, JLU, Jogging Lake City, Jogging Lake City University in Bhopal comes to my mind, right? So we have a complete list of over 20 different law schools that are Alliance members that use our exam, and then we have some other law schools that also accept the score but aren't as closely tied to us as our Alliance members are. And the reason of course, and then we have NMIMS, BMU, BML, Munjal also accepts the score. So, I mean, we have this list of prominent institutions, quite frankly. And the reason that we are very selective in choosing and identifying who we decide to tie up with our as university partners is because we're looking for people who share our desire to help law students prepare for that, what we sort of also like to call that Law 2030, right? So what is it that you need to be doing now to prepare for the next decade of law, right? So are you innovative? How are you embracing technology? Do you care about diversity? Are you adding more voices to law? Are you making them practice ready through clinical and curriculum and pedagogical like do you have that right mix of ingredients to help students get from law student to actual practicing attorney? And so we, feel like very fortunate, quite frankly, to have the partners that we do and the law schools that we do working with us in that effort. So yeah.
Wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, over 20 plus law schools are closely associated with them, and several others
Yeah.
except the LSAT India. And
Yeah.
that definitely makes one more reason why you should prefer to write LSAT. And, quite frankly, now, as much as Yusuf will hate me for saying this, though LSAC Global and LSAT India is very strong partners of High School Moms. There are annual partners for this year. They were also there, on our GEC Summit, Global Ed Connect Summit, as our support partners. So while I have great associations with Yusuf and his team members in India, I will go a step further and as a career counsel give you unbiased advice. Please understand, when you prepare for LSAT India, you're actually prepared even for other exams, because
True.
the other exams actually test you on the same thing. Just that LSAT India, since it's the gold standard, it prepares you so well that you might be able to crack the other exams as well. So you should keep LSAT India as your prime focus, while ensuring that the other exams will always fall into place if you are LSAT prepared. All right, coming to another question, Yusuf.
Mhm.
I've heard a lot about your upcoming or possibly recently launched LSAT Law Prep,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Now, my worry is that there are so many coaching institutions in India which
Yeah. Yeah.
prepare kids for LSAT and CLATs of the world.
Mhm.
And now if LSAC Global launches its LSAT Law Prep,
Mhm.
possibly all of them will go out of business,
Yeah.
because you are the masters of your own test. You are the owners of your own test. Who knows it better than
Mhm.
how to prepare for that test? Give me
Yeah.
some more information about LSAT Law Prep.
Yeah, no, I'd be more than happy to. And I think the reason that we even created Law Prep was really in response to a demand from students that were that had a hankering for more prep, right? So even today, before launching Law Prep, we had these available for download that were free, right? Test prep materials that you could go to our website, discoverlaw.in, and you can download them just so you can get an understanding for what the exam is, right? And then we also have some publications that were available for sale too, but students still didn't really feel like they had enough content, right? And so try as you may, I think that what you will quickly realize is that our question type is so different from some of the other law entrance exams that is not as easily sort of replicable, right, as some of the other exams. I won't name any names here. So what you find is that coaching institutes that traditionally prepare for other law entrance exams were somewhat struggling to prepare for LSAT India because our questions are just so dramatically different, right? And so, understanding that there is number one, strong demand, we felt as though we needed to provide that clarity. We needed to provide options, and we need to, more importantly, provide solutions, right? So we created Law Prep with the intent of giving students more opportunities to practice and develop the skills that they need to be successful. Again, not only for LSAT India, but more importantly for all of the law entrance exams that they're going to be taking, right? And so how this is different is that number one, these are authentic, official, licensed. I mean, it's our content, right? So you are getting the content from the producers that create the exam, not from someone else, right? So I think that is very important to first and foremost, sort of as a distinguishing factor. The other, I think, important piece of this is that we wanted to create a simulated environment that mirrored the test day experience so that on testing day, when people actually show up for the exam, they'd have more of an understanding of what to expect, what to look for, but more importantly, to be comfortable in that and confident on test day, right? And so how did we do that? We took the same platform that we deliver the test on and created Law Prep in it, right? And so a student can come through and in the same platform that they're going to be testing on test day can now practice and really kind of test drive this engine so that on test day, all they need to do is show up, focused, confident, and ready to put their best foot forward, right? And so we are now going to be tying up, which I'm very, very proud of, with a good friend of ours. His name is Jiju, right? And he works for Career Launcher. And so he's created the very first LSAT.
Jiju Srinivasan?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know him well.
Yeah.
He was a
Yeah.
good friend of mine earlier in his IMS days.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
So we have created this wonderful tie-up that we are in the process of actually bringing out. I just did a session with him last weekend that was a smashing, raging success as well. So we're very proud about that. And so we are going to be doing like co-marketing, co-branding to really kind of drive some excitement and energy around law prep. And I think that quite frankly, students that aspire to go to law school now have a fantastic opportunity to really kind of develop these skills unlike any time in the past. So, yeah.
Okay, so last few minutes of our discussion, Yusuf, it's a Facebook Live.
Yeah.
I want to understand LSAC Global, such a phenomenal organization, LSAT India, such a phenomenal test, and now the LSAT Law Prep, truly a game changer because, you as a student will not only be able to prepare from the masters and the owners of the test themselves. Do you have any scholarships to offer for people or students who really do well in LSAT? There are some people who might do really well in the exam, but are financially not capable of pursuing law as a degree or law as a qualification. How does LSAC Global help them?
Yeah, so that is a very, very good question, right? I think that for us, we are all about eliminating barriers to access and increasing opportunities for students to pursue their dreams of becoming lawyers, right? So, but in order to be able to do that, for students that are putting in the work and the time and the energy to excel, right, on the exam, we created a LSAT India Topper Scholarship. Right, so you top the exam, we'll send you a check for 4 lakhs to cover your institution and your hostel fees. Right, so I mean that's essentially where that money goes to, and we also, I think in addition to that, what we also do is work with our member schools to ensure that they offer some scholarship as well for students that also that take the LSAT India exam. So what that allows us to be able to do is to create an infrastructure, right, of support for students that extends not only for what we do, but also into our partnering universities as well.
Right. And let me also understand, Yusuf, before I let you go, some tips and tricks that you can share with students who are really
Of
looking forward to
course,
crack the
of course.
LSAT.
Well, I mean, I think the best thing that you can do as a student taking the LSAT is number one, and this is based on research that we've done with over 70,000 people who have, studied and taken the LSAT exam. The most important thing that you can do is practice, 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 right? And the way that you're able to do that is through a variety of different things, right? So you first and foremost need to understand like what is your baseline, right? So you want to go in and use the free law prep test that we have. You can take it up to 5 times. We did that intentionally because you need to, take it one time and understand like where you're strong, right? And then take it again. And then we also have some other options that are available for purchase if you want, right? And then a student can also do Khan Academy, right? We have an LSAT prep for Khan Academy so that you can also get a deeper level of understanding as to why one question is right and another question, another answer option is wrong, right? And then the other thing that you want to do is to create a study plan, right? So I know that you're studying for your board exams, so you might be doing, 4 hours for your board exams, another, I would say 2 hours dedicated to LSAT India, right? So you could say on any given day, you might want to study logical reasoning for 2 hours, reading comp for 2 hours, right? And right, so you can break down the different sections, right? So you get a baseline, develop a plan, right, and a strategy, stick to the plan. And then number three is practice, practice, practice. And the way that you can do that is through all of the options that I have mentioned. Go to our Discover Law website and you can see them, beautifully outlined there. So that's what I would do. That's what I would do. And I think quite honestly, you have 30 days for the test, so you still have time, right? This is the time to take charge. And don't overthink it. With everything else that's happening around you, I would say just focus in, do what you have to do, create the plan, work the plan, and show up confident and be ready to go.
Super. Thank you, Yusuf. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that's Yusuf Abdul-Kareem, Vice President Emerging Markets, LSAC Global, the organization which leads and masters LSAT India. And they have come up with a beautiful LSAT law prep. There is still 30 days to go for LSAT test in India. This is your time, like Yusuf said, to take charge. Don't overthink about things happening around. You can take the LSAT India within the comfort of your home without the worry of the pandemic. An exam, a test, which is the gold standard, like Yusuf said, in law, and an exam which is accepted by not only 20 associated schools with LSAT, but also several other schools are not even associated with them. An exam which will not only prepare you for LSAT itself, but can also prepare you for other law entrances in India. And like Yusuf said, law as a career can be as huge and as different as you can imagine it to be. It need not be about judiciary. It definitely need not be about becoming a lawyer. You can think about ethics, you can think about cyber law, you can think about intellectual property rights, you can think about so much more. Thank you, Yusuf, for joining us today. It was wonderful listening to you. Thank you so much from millions of parents and students who follow High School Moms, and especially from 800 of them who are listening to you right now.
Absolutely.
I hope that LSAC Global keeps on doing this phenomenal job. And we really thank you for supporting a movement like High School Moms, which believes in empowering students and parents in this country with the right information. Your parting word, Yusuf, just 2 lines about what do you feel, what kind of work High School Moms is doing.
Oh, Oh my goodness! So first and foremost, it is our honor to be partnered with High School Moms. I think the work that you're doing, the energy and the excitement of really building the next generation of leaders and educators and helping students navigate their way through the high school to college journey and career path, right? To help them discover not only who they are and what they're interested in, but also discover the opportunities that are available to them in this, wide ranging world, right? That we have so been fortunate enough to live in, right? So I think that the work that High School Moms is doing is such needed and impactful, and I'm so fortunate and happy to be a part of. Just to play a small role in helping you change the landscape of education in India. And so, if there's anything that we can do to support you, to help you get from to where you're trying to go, it is our honor to be right there with you, holding your hand. So, yeah, keep us in mind. And to the parents and students that are listening, please know that we are here for you. We are your partner. Any and everything that we can do to help support you or your child in their aspiration to become a lawyer, we're definitely here to help you on that end. So thank you so much for your time.
Right, right. Ladies and gentlemen, Yusuf, just hold on for a more minutes before I just say goodbye to all my audience. Ladies and gentlemen,
Of
boys
course.
and girls, that was Yusuf Abdul-Kareem, Vice President Emerging Markets for LSAC Global, sharing his tips, tricks, advice, and information and insights about why you should take LSAT India, why you should use LSAT Law Prep to prepare for LSAT India. It's just a month to go. Take chance, take things in your own hand, and go for it. Yusuf, before I go, I really want to thank you again, once again, from the bottom of my heart for supporting the movement. It makes me feel phenomenal when organizations like LSAC, or like I said, another annual partner of ours, Huron University in Canada, when you said that High School Moms is building leaders,
Hmm.
I really resonate with organizations like yours who are believing in investing money for the overall good of the society. uh,
Mhm.
Including Huron, when I talk to them, they believe in making leaders with heart, right?
Hmm.
So it's so much resonating that High School Moms is now associating with organizations which are as huge as LSAC Global and as
Yeah.
great as those universities. So
Mhm.
thank you so very much for your support. I continuously will count on your support for times to come. One
Absolutely.
comment which is coming in our feed right now. Monica Chabra Arora says, "Thank you so much for an enriching session. It was really helpful." Dibya Jyoti Jadhav, thank you so very much.
Thank
Ladies and
you.
gentlemen, boys and girls, please stay home, stay safe, keep on wearing your face mask, use sanitizers frequently, follow social distancing, and that's the only way you'll be able to save yourself and save the world around you. Do not panic. Do not spread rumors because rumors can cause more havoc than the pandemic itself. With that,
Hmm.
I wish you a good night. God bless. Take care.